Hello, hello, and welcome to Bla Bla Black Sheep, a weekly podcast where I, Sarah Korth of SEK Handmade, answer your yarny questions. So let's get right to that. If you have a question, there is a form in the show notes below where you can put in your question, and I got a whole bunch of them, and I pick a couple every week, and we talk about them. So very exciting. I also want to tell you right off the gate that I have some company this week. My youngest is home. He's feeling bad-ish. He's running a fever though, so he has to stay home from school. And then poor Weston is also feeling a little bad-ish. Something is giving him skin irritation. We've tried, I'd gotten him some new treats, so we stopped giving him those. That didn't help. We were participating in No Mow May, and the grass where he goes out was really high, and I thought, well, maybe that's like, because part of it's on his tummy, maybe that's bothering him, so I mowed the grass. That hasn't helped, so I need to call the vet. But he's right there. And so I may have to stop him from licking, because that's become the real problem. He licks and he scratches, and his little muzzle's gotten all pink, and his little belly is, not good. So, thank you for joining me today in all of my, hopefully not too much chaos, but you just never know. So that's where we're at. Uh-oh, now he's getting up. What are you doing, mister? What are you doing? Huh? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. You find a place to lay down? Not knock the camera over? We'll see. He's going to try to go out the door. I have closed, of course. Hey, don't scratch. All right. Who knows? Anyways, we're going to move on. There goes his tail. He's going right back where he started. So thank you for joining me. Welcome. Dog fur now. I am so glad you're here. I hope you'll send me a question, because that's what makes the podcast is me answering your questions. I want to tell you what I'm wearing today. I got this new pair of earrings, and they just remind me so much of spring, and I'm super excited about them. They are, I don't know if you can see, they're actual pressed flowers in in an earring, and they're gorgeous. They're like really bright. I kind of think, looking at the back, that she maybe colored the teal one and the little pink one that are right there in the corner, because they're white on the back, but they're gorgeous and I love them, and I'm having so much fun. They just they'll be a little bit of spring that I can take with me all year long. So that'll be fun. And then I am wearing my modified Levana Shawl. So my Levana Shawl I made in a sport weight yarn, and I thought, I don't know how true this is, but I think mostly Americans have fingering weight yarn. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I have this gorgeous fingering weight yarn that I bought from a dyer who was not going to dye anymore. And I thought, I'm going to try it in a fingering weight yarn, and I'm going to see what happens. And it's gorgeous. Well, that's the wrong side, but it's one of my favorites. It's bigger. I just kept going with the pattern until I ran out of yarn. And I don't recall if I had 2 or 3 skeins. I don't remember, but I will put in the show notes a link to both the Levana pattern, and I did a Ravelry project where I gave all the details on how big it turned out, how much yarn I used, what modifications I made, which were mostly not a lot. So if you're interested in modifying, it's all there for you to do. It was very easy. There was no math. It was not complicated at all. But this is a gigantic shawl, and I've been thinking, we're starting to get warm here, and I've been thinking about how can I extend my shawls a little further into, there he goes, into the spring some. So I thought I'm gonna mess around with this, and I found a fun way to wear this that's a little different. And so I'm gonna show you how I did that so that you can maybe take one of your big shawls and do that too. Now I do want to say, very open fabric, and I think that's gonna be probably a must for the, I mean you can try it with whatever you got, because like what's the harm? But nice open fabric on this one. I think that's partly what makes this doable. And he's really going on a walkabout today. But you can try it and see. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the peak and I'm going to fold it up. What I'm doing is I'm kind of making it more like a scarf. So let's see, I'm going to do this backwards. So I'm going to take the peak and I'm going to fold it up to just straight up to the center. And then I think I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to fold it up one more time. So see how it like shortens it almost into like a scarf. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it over my shoulder and back a little ways. And then I'm going to wrap. I'm caught. I'm sitting on it. I'm going to wrap it around and try to keep it as gathered as possible and back. And I'm leaving nice and open. Now, I think I need to adjust a little bit because I got a lot here and not a lot there. So I'm just going to turn it. And I'm going to keep turning until I feel like I'm like evenish, which I think that's about it. So I've got my drapey, but not too big and open. I've got a little on the front, a little on the back. And then I'm going to take, you can take a shawl cuff for this, but I have this fun bracelet that looks like a ruler. And I'm going to wrap that around. So I'm going to go around twice because it's really long. And I'm going to pin it. It's got like a little clasp it underneath. And then I'm going to push this kind of up, boop, 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 on my shoulder. And there you go. It's nice and open around my neck. The bracelet / shawl cuff, make sure it's not going anywhere. I don't have to mess with it. But it doesn't feel super heavy. But now I can wear one of my favorite shawls into the spring a little more. So I think that's fun. Very exciting. So there you go. That's what I'm wearing. My modified Levana shawl and my earrings. Oh, I don't think I said. Anna Style Designs, I believe is the name of the earring maker. They have lots of cute earrings. So again, links in the show notes to all the things. So don't worry about hunting them down. I got you. So there you go. That's what I'm wearing. Things that are bringing me joy. Okay, guys, I felt like we lived in mud and gray for an expanded period of time this year, but it has warmed up and things are springing and blooming, and one of them is my rhubarb. And I have, so this is my accidental rhubarb plant. We moved here from Ohio to be closer to family. My husband's parents lived in Madison, which is like the other side of the state if you're bad at geography like I am and don't keep all such things in your brain. So they moved to be close to us, which is wonderful. Now they live in the same town we do. And my mother-in-law loves to garden. Right before they moved, she dug up some of her rhubarb, and they just came back from the last time, like going through their house, and she was like, put this in your yard. Because their yard is extremely shady, and so she didn't have a good place for it to grow. So I was like, okay. And so I did, and so that was like 2 years ago. Excuse me. And the first couple of years, it was like, is it gonna live? Isn't it gonna live? It's very hard to tell. And this year, it just like, boom. So enough rhubarb, almost enough rhubarb to make a crisp. So I am going to buy some strawberries when I go to the store today, I think. And I'm gonna make a strawberry rhubarb crisp. Doesn't that sound amazing? And I used the recipe out of the very old school Betty Crocker cookbook. So if you're looking for a rhubarb crisp recipe, first of all, I'm sure there are a million on the internet, but that's what I use. And it's going to be delicious. And I can't wait. Maybe the little can help me chop up some strawberries and make it this afternoon. So there you go. That's what's bringing me joy. The anticipation of the rhubarb crisp is bringing me much joy. Small businesses. Okay, so I have been thinking a little bit. Well, I guess I've just like brought it to my awareness, if that makes sense. Some other small businesses that I have and interact with that I can share with you. So I'm not just repeating the same things over and over again. So I got out. I'm working on a project that is a secret, so I can't show it to you. But it was small. It's going to be gigantic, but it was small at the time, and I just needed to take it with me. And so I stuck it in a project bag, and I was like, oh, that's a small business. So I want to share with you a project bag maker that I love. It is called Fate's Thread, and the way that I got introduced to Fate's Thread was through Instagram. They just popped up on my account doing a giveaway, and I won. And look at what I won! Isn't that the best? They have all sorts. They don't have this anymore because this was a couple years ago, but they have all sorts of really fun, kind of like nerdy. I think Fate's has to do with D&D. It exists in my house, but I don't know much about it, the D&D stuff. But I gotta tell you, super high quality. The zippers are really nice. They're all lined, and there's no pocket in the small one. And I don't think there's a pocket in the one that I bought. No, no pocket in there, but they're lined, and they're like, I think they have interfacing in them. My mom would be appalled. My mom's a professional tailor. She would be appalled that I don't know what this is. I'm pretty sure it's interfacing. That makes them really sturdy and stand up. So you can just plop this down. It'll stand. This one's full of yarn, but it will stand up on its own even when it's not full of yarn. And you just pull your project out of there. It's lovely. So this is the one that I won. And then a couple weeks ago, they were having a sale. They do sales at kind of irregular times. Like they don't do, I think their Black Friday sale isn't a sale. They actually like increase their prices a little bit, and then they give money to a charity instead. So instead of you getting a deal, you give to a charity, which is super cool. And so then just a few weeks ago, I don't know when, but just sign up for their emails and then you'll know when. They were doing a sale where it was buy one, get one, maybe? I think it might have been buy one, get one, which is a real good deal. And so I looked through their bags, and I'm not a big nerdy person. I mean, I'm a nerd, but not in your typical sense. So I was looking for something that was not like themed like that. And here's what I found. I found 2 of their small project bags, and you can see, look, this has nothing in it. Stands up on its own. This has the drawstring top and a really pretty red inside. So this is the Ruth Bader Ginsburg one, which I love. I love that it's oh my gosh, I can't think of words. Her little collar, and kind of subtle, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty too. So that's fun. And then I got this really pretty knitting, like it just looks like knit fabric, and it has a purple inside, which I love purple, and a drawstring. So these are super handy. I actually got recently, which I'll share those on another episode because that's another small business. I recently got a larger project bag from my local knitting shop, and it's become like just my go-to bag, and I can fill this with a project, throw that in the bigger bag along with my wallet and other stuff, and I always just keep, we'll talk about this another time because I have another small business I can share with you, but I always keep a little tin full of notions in bags like that. So we'll talk about that another time. maybe next week. And then, of course, I have my Cheeky Ceramics sheep mug again, which is just gorgeous and amazing. Links will be below. Okay, I've been running long, so I'm trying to be a little faster. So, questions. Just questions. They're different this week. Just kind of some things that seemed relevant to the time. Maybe not relevant to everyone, though. I don't know. Maybe. Listen, share. Oh, we'll do that at the end. I need your opinion on something. But we'll do questions first. Okay. School question number 1. Question number 1. School is coming to an end, and while many people are excited for the slower pace of summer, I'm having very mixed emotions. I'm excited to spend more time with my kids and make memories, but crocheting is a big part of maintaining my mental health. Do you have any tips for squeezing in yarn time when you're the main parent? How do you do it as a designer? Okay, I feel this. I had a pretty good skill of, I never stopped yarning when my kids were little, even when they were little. As a matter of fact, I learned how to crochet when Colden was an infant. That is how committed I am to yarn craft. But I do it all the time. Honestly, it's just part of their life at this point, and I'm not sure they would know what to do with me if I was not knitting or crocheting. But both of my children's, are in school now. And so when they were teeny, life was just always like that. I was the main parent. We were always going and doing. They were always with me. It was constant. Now they're both at school full time. And so it's a big change when they're suddenly both home full time during the summer. And it is very different. Here's the thing I always tell myself as a designer. I'm going to get ahead. I'm not ahead. I'm not even kind of ahead. So, here's the thing. If yarn time is important for your mental health, which I know for a lot of us it is not a luxury. We think to ourselves, oh, it's just a hobby. Oh, it's just something for fun. Oh, it's selfish. I mean, we even call projects we make for ourselves selfish projects. But if you need yarn time to maintain your mental health, A, it's not selfish. It is important to maintain your mental health. And B, you cannot be the best parent you can be if you are allowing your mental health to go down the drain. And so when you take care of your mental health, you are not only caring for yourself, you are also caring for your children and your spouse and all the people in your life who depend on you. So my first recommendation is change your mindset. It's not a luxury. It's not something that can go out the window. It's something you need in your life to maintain your mental health. That's important. So how do you do it when the kids are home and you're running to the swimming pool and camps and lessons and just like trying to get snacks and have them not kill each other? My tip is pick simple and small projects. If you are doing an intricate lace pattern that you have to like count everything and you've got all these stitch markers going on, that is not ideal for having little people around, and even bigger little people. My oldest is 11 and a half. He is very capable of many things, but they still interrupt. So like you need a project where you can be interrupted and you're not going to like be set way back. If you have one of those projects and love working on it, just like it in the corner, pull it out after they're in bed, and then you can work on it. Or say, I need this much time to work on this every day. But I find that a small, simple project that just sits in a project bag ready to grab anytime we head out the door is lovely. Then you take it to the park. I mean, if your kids are big enough to play, I assume if they're in elementary school, they're big enough to, like, you're not under the monkey bars making sure they don't kill themselves. Fall and break something. That's maybe a little less dramatic. You know me though. I love dramatic. And so, you know, I take it to the park. I sit on a bench. They play. I crochet. Playing crochet. Yeah. My other recommendation is I am a very strict screen time person. And my husband often says, Sarah, I played video games nonstop all summer when I was little, and I didn't turn out terrible. And I mean, he's not wrong. So I value my kids not being on screens all the time, but I also realize that sometimes I have to let that go a little bit for my own sanity, and that's okay. If I have a big project coming due and that means that they spend, you know, more time on their screens than I would normally prefer or allow, we all will survive. They will not turn into mush immediately, and it'll be fine. So lose the guilt about screen time, and if, like, you normally wouldn't do much screen time in the heat of the afternoon, that's a perfect time. If you have a basement, send them to the basement where it's nice and cool, or you go to the basement where it's nice and cool. They do some screen time, you do some yarn time. So the other thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this question is you need to be a role model. You need to treat yourself how you want your kids to treat themselves when they are adults. Because if they watch you run yourself ragged, if they watch you sacrifice your mental health for their joy, when they become adults and they potentially become parents, they will feel like that's what parenting is. That's what you do. You sacrifice your whole self for your children. And you wouldn't want your kids, I mean, we want our kids to be good parents if they're going to parent, but you wouldn't want your kids letting their own mental health slide to be a good parent. So be a role model for your kids. And, you know, say to your kids, I need to care for myself. And so I need some time where you go do your thing and I do my thing. And you know what? I think even little kids, I think a lot of times people think, oh, but my kid is little. I really encouraged my boys to play by themselves. It's why I gave you a sibling, not really, but you know, they have a sibling to play with. But even when, I mean, Benton doesn't have a sibling to play with today, he's homesick. I'm not entertaining him all day. He has things he can do by himself. A room full of Legos. He loves to draw. He can read now, but even if they can't read, they love to flip through books. We're probably not going to go outside because he's sick. But there are all sorts of things that your kids can do, either unsupervised or semi-supervised. When they were little, it was a lot of me sitting in a chair in the same room and monitoring as they played, but not me being in it, being the entertainer. And so that's okay too. Is that easy at first? No. But it'll come with time. Let's see. Set a routine around being at home. I know it's very tempting to be gone all day long, but that's also exhausting. And if you can't take your yarn with you, you know, like if you're going to the pool and your kids are little, like even with my kids being big, I don't take yarn to the pool usually because you got to keep an eye on your kids. But then try to have a set time that you're always home for afternoon snack, or if you're going to go to the pool in the afternoon, you're home in the morning, so that you're not running, and extending yourself physically and emotionally in that way. And then also being gone all day and not getting any yarn time. So if you can set a routine around, even if it's an irregular routine, if we go to the pool in the afternoon, we're home in the morning. If we're gone to a park in the morning, we're home in the afternoon kind of situation, so that you can be home. And there you go. Those are my tips. If you have tips, either ways to entertain your kids, if you have, like, my boys have, well, they're doing some weaving, which is fun. So that'd be another thing. Get your kids involved in the yarn, whether it's like gluing some Red Heart Super Saver down on paper, or doing finger weaving, or working just yards and yards of chains. If they're interested in that sort of stuff, then get them involved. But if you have any ideas for entertaining your kids to get some yarn time, or tips for like expanding your yarn time, ways that you can quickly get some other things done maybe, so that you can have extra time for yarn, I'd love to know. Love to know. Comment below. That's what I need. All right, so question number 2. Hi, it's getting warmer here and I don't feel like working on big, heavy projects right now. What summer crochet projects do you like best? Okay, here's the deal. I love this question, but I'm going to tell you what I would do if I weren't a designer. Because here's the thing, as a designer, I'm always designing ahead. So I'm actually working on a spring summer project right now, but only because it's for a yarn company and it's coming out next year. Spring summer. That's how far ahead we are. But even when I work on designs for myself, I'm working ahead. I'm thinking about fall right now. So all summer long, I will work on fall stuff, and come December, January, I'll start working on spring stuff. So I'm off seasons, but let me give you tips of what I would do if I was a normal person. So I'm not a normal person. Lacy shawls. Lacy shawls. I love those. They're great for, I don't live south, I live north, which means we still get chilly at night, and we don't have a huge amount of times where it's just hot. Usually it's like nice and cool in the mornings, it cools off again in the evenings sort of situation. And so either first thing in the morning or in the evenings, it's nice to have a shawl just to like throw over even your tank top. Other lacy items, swimsuit cover up. I meant to look up the name of this and then I did not. My friend Christine of Sweet Potato 3, she released a swimsuit cover up last year that was just gorgeous and like I think really simple to work up. So you could do that fast and have that for the pool, work on it by the pool, and then wear it to the pool. And then tops. There are all sorts of cute tank tops out there. Lots of really cute short sleeved tees. My friend Amber of Amber Bliss This just released her, I think it's Ventanitas top. Again, I'll link these below, so if I'm saying them wrong, you can still find them. I bought yarn for it, but I gotta get, I'm pointing to my project. That's for the yarn company. I have to get that done first, but that's a nice, real simple, open top. It's not lacy, it's not like girly, but it's nice open stitches, so that's perfect for summer and perfect to work on, because especially when you start, all the pieces are small, and so they're easy to take with you. And that's another one that I think is a pretty simple stitch repeat, so I don't think it'll like sap all of your brain power. or attention. Where am I looking at here? Here we go. Jewelry is another one of my favorite things. I love making earrings in the summer. The whole project, all of it, is very small. It doesn't take a lot of time. Friends, they're just the same stitches you always make. They're just tiny. It's okay. You can do it. Tight tension is the key. So jewelry is a favorite, but if you're not a crocheted earring person and like that frightens you, bracelets are great. Crochet bracelets also make great shawl cuffs, so it's fun to have your shawl that you made and your bracelet that you wear as a shawl cuff too. So those are fun. Some really fun necklaces and stuff out there that don't necessarily take crochet thread. I have a it's over there, beginner Tunisian necklace that is meant to teach you how to Tunisian crochet. That's another one that's small and lightweight and easy to take on the go. Bags. I feel all the bags in the summertime. Because again, that usually a cotton or a cotton blend is great for those, which feels very summertime-ish. B, they're just so practical. Once you make it up, then you've got it to take to the beach, to the library, to the park, throw your yarn in it when you go out. So I love making a bag. And then this one's gonna seem weird, but I like making hats in the summer too. Here's why. They're small. A lot of times if you make the same hat several times, like you kind of get it in your brain, you don't even need to look at the pattern. And so you're not going to wear a hat in the summer, but either you can be prepared for fall, you can be working on gifts for the holidays, which how much will you thank yourself come November if you've already got like 3 or 4 gifts done? And they're great for donating. So even if you're like, I don't need more hats, my family doesn't need more hats, I'm not going to gift more hats, but I need a little something to keep my hands busy. A hat is perfect for that. You can take it on the go. It doesn't take as much focus generally, especially if you're going to make it several times, and then donate it to charity. That's also a great way to use up some of your stash yarn that you maybe bought, way back when, but now your tastes have changed or you don't use that kind of yarn so much anymore. So I encourage hats. And those are our questions. Okay. I almost forgot this and I don't want to forget it. So I need your help. Okay, I released my Zoe shawl. I think it's been a couple weeks. Maybe that was just last week. I don't know. Time is such a blur. And I love her and I've worn her a ton. I almost wore her again today and I was like, no, not 2 weeks in a row, Sarah. So she's got that really pretty border and this body is quick and easy to make, nice and long and open, perfect for summer, wraps nicely. Okay, stop talking about her. Here's the deal. I asked this question a while back and people said no, but I think yes was the real answer. So what my question was, do you need to see this in a different color? This is bold. I mean, nobody's going to argue with me there. This yarn is gorgeous. It's cornbread and honey. Highly recommend. But it is bold. And I think some people, not all the people, just some people, have a hard time seeing this and thinking, that's great, but I'm going to make it in gray. Something maybe a little more toned down. And so I think some people are passing on the pattern because of the color. I think this because I got an email from somebody who was struggling with my Thea bag pattern and she was doing a great job. She's doing awesome. But I open up her picture of what she's asking the question on and she is making the bag in almost exactly the same colors I did, which is fine and wonderful. But I want to facilitate then people who don't want that, don't feel comfortable in bold like that. So I'm thinking about making another Zoe shawl. Again, I'm wondering, did I call it the wrong thing? Dang it. My brain is particularly struggling today. The little was up a few times in the night, but you know what we also did? We forgot to put the baby to bed, the baby being the dog. And at 2:30 in the morning, I hear, and it's his ears, you know, as he's shaking. He's standing in the hallway upstairs, like poking his head into all the bedrooms, like, wait, guys, what's going on? And so at 2:30 in the morning, I got up and I had to let him out because that's his routine. I'm like, you don't need to pee. And he's like, I go outside before I go to bed, Mom. So I'm up at 2:30, letting the dog outside, putting him to bed in his kennel. He sleeps in his kennel. My brain is not fully working. Anyways, Zoe shawl, different colors. So I need you to vote. So this is the color. This is the cornbread and honey color that I used in my original border, which I love. And I have enough to do the border again. I don't think I have quite enough to do the body in that color. So what I have for you are options. And I want you to tell me which one you think would go best with this one. So this is the border. This is one of my mystery skeins that I got from Daisy Stitches Co. So it's a little more pastel-y than I would normally wear, but I think paired with this in the Zoe shawl, it would be a great combination. They're not even the same dyer, but they've got a very similar and complementary color. So I think that would be a good option. This is Daisy Stitches Co. If this is your vote, write Daisy Stitches Co. Okay, then I also thought, you know, you can't go wrong with a neutral. So gray and purple, I'd wear that all the time. This one is by Dover Street Supply Company. So gray, Dover Street, if that's your vote. And then this, okay, I have this skein, but it has already been allotted for a different project. So I'd have to go out and buy another one, which I'm not opposed to. So I believe this one, I don't have the tag in there. I believe this one is Evergreen Fiberworks. And so it is just, it's a gray black base that has all the speckles, all the colors. I'm actually using this in a knitting project right now. But that would be really fun, a little more bold, but still I think this is more neutral than that. So let me know. Evergreen Fiberworks, Dover Street Supply Company, or Daisy Stitches Co. Let me know which one you think I should do. It's going to be a little bit until I get to it. So if you're not watching this right away, you can still vote. I have to finish my big contracted project before I'm allowing myself to work on anything else. So there you go. Thank you for your help with that. I so appreciate it. Sometimes I love colors too much, and then I can't decide which way I want to go. So thank you so much for joining me today. It has been lovely. I hope you have a marvelous day. I hope everyone in your house is healthy and that you're enjoying this transitional time of year if the seasons are transitioning for you. I'll let you know how my Rhubarb Crisp is, but I bet it's going to be delicious. Have a joyful week and happy crafting.